Well, this is it, everybody. This is our final week in this course. This is week 10 of Marketing 441. This is a short week, only 5 days, and when the week's done, we're done. It'll be over. And some of you will be ready to graduate then. So we have 3 learning outcomes this week. I'm not going to read these for you. These are all in the week 10 folder. And these outcomes are all going to be met this week by taking an examination. It's called the Peregrine exam. And we'll talk way more about that in a few minutes. So you can see we have 3 different pages here of learning outcomes. These are all the things that hopefully you'll learn this week or that you'll show that you know this week. And again, you can find these in the week 10 folder. So there are no readings, nothing in the textbook to read, and there's no discussions this week. We are done reading and we're done discussing with each other, which will give you plenty of time for the 2 assignments that you do have. So first there is what's called a reflection paper. So you can see here on the screen that there are 5, and these are actually not course outcomes. These are program outcomes, education outcomes. So these are 5 things that hopefully you have learned, you have gained from your education here at Davenport. So this week you are going to write a written reflection where you reflect on each of these 5 outcomes. So let me show you. If you go into the week 10 folder, you'll see this page here, the reflection paper instructions. And I'm not sure how well you can see this on the screen right now, but there are 5 outcomes. And again, these cover the whole program, not this course. You are going to write a reflection in which you cover each of these 5 outcomes. So a different section on each of the outcomes, and your sections basically say whether you feel like you learned this, you gained this knowledge through this program at Davenport, or if you didn't. And so there are 3 questions at the bottom, A, B, and C, which can kind of help guide you on the reflection, but it is not necessary to answer each of those 3 questions in each of the 5 sections, but you can if you want. So the key here is to be specific. So for example, outcome 5, apply knowledge of the global business environment. Okay, so when you're writing that section, you might first you list what the outcome was, and then you might say, yes, I feel that I learned this outcome through taking such and such a course at Davenport. You know, we did this and we did this, or be more specific than this. In such and such a course, I did this assignment, and here's what I did for this assignment, and here's how it helped me to learn about the global business environment. So the best reflections are going to have specific examples of specific courses or assignments, or if you honestly feel like you didn't gain that outcome, either because you didn't feel like it was covered enough, or it was covered but it wasn't done successfully, or you struggled with it or whatever, you say that too, but be specific. So your reflection is you're going to have a section on each of these 5 separate outcomes, so 5 sections, and be specific in each about whether you feel like you accomplished that outcome or not, and give examples. Okay, so that's the reflection, and you are going to submit that. It's an early, it's an early submission. It's due by day 3. So normally our weeks are, everything's due day 7. This is a 5-day week, but this is an early due date. This is submitted by day 3. So please note that. All right, the second assignment is a competencies assessment. So this is an examination. But this is going to be different than all of the other exams you've taken here at Davenport. It's written and conducted by an outside company. So it's by a company called Peregrine. Peregrine helps Davenport to maintain the accreditation of our business program. So the business program here is accredited by a body called the IACBE, and it's pretty challenging to get accredited. So Peregrine helps us to do that by, one of the ways is measuring, did you learn certain outcomes through this program, and can you show that on an exam? Also, that written reflection, that will be used for this accreditation too. Do you feel like you learn what you're supposed to learn, and can you demonstrate it? So that's what this exam is about. So this exam covers your whole education. It does not cover this course. It has questions about accounting, finance, marketing, IT, all of the major topics, the major subject areas in the Davenport Bachelor program. And again, the data is used anonymously. It doesn't say your name, but the data is going to be used when we reapply for our accreditation. Okay, so the way this works is there is a link, there is a in the week 10 folder where you go and you register for the exam, and then Peregrine sends you back a link by email that you will click to take the exam. So you'll register, you'll get a link back, you'll click the link, and you'll go in and you'll take the exam. And it's a little weird because it's going to say BUSN 448T, and don't worry about that. That is the right exam. It's only going to let you register for that one exam. There are multiple sections in the exam, and there are a total of 110 total questions, divided into, there's an accounting section and a marketing section, etc., for a total of 110 questions. Now, here's the key part. When you are done and you submit it, Peregrine will then send you a certificate. It's going to be a PDF, and it's going to say, yes, you, Susie Smith, completed the exam, and it's going to show your score. You need to then submit that certificate to me. There is an assignment, there's a link in the assignments folder where you're going to submit that to me, because otherwise I don't see the score, because it's outside. It's an outside company. So by the end of the course, by day 5, you need to have taken the exam and then gone in and uploaded that certificate in the assignments folder. Okay, and the way that works is you can earn up to 100 points for this exam. You get 50 points just for completing it. So even if you missed every single question, but you completed it, you get 50. The other 50 is based on your score. So if you're really curious about it, if you go in here, there's a grading scale in the week 10 folder, and it shows you, for example, if you got 70% on the exam, that would give you 45 performance points plus 50 completion points. You'd get a 95 out of 100 for that exam. So you do have an incentive. You want to do well. The questions are pretty broad. And you can't really study for it. You can't really have your books in front of you. It's just very broad outcomes from your whole program here. All right, so here's the part. The last time I taught this, somebody didn't submit this certificate of completion, and it hurt her course grade. So you don't want to do that. You want to submit that course, that certificate of completion to me by the end of the week. Let me see. Okay, so our course ends, let me look here. Our course ends on day 7 of this week. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's a short week. Our course ends on day 5. Okay, and I have to submit your final grades basically the next day to Davenport. So it's very important that you submit everything by the end of the week. Once the course ends, everything shuts off and I can't accept anything because I have to get final grades in right away. So please do yourself a favor and get everything done on time. Okay, I think that's it. A little bit different week, not terribly difficult, just different. Please read those instructions. And if you do have any questions, please email me or call me and I'm happy to help. Thanks everybody, and it's been great to work with you.